The reason why there will be spending on campaigns is because there's an election next year, and different regions are now positioning themselves, discussing on what is best for them. Last week we saw 3 MKs talking about Mount Kenya, another MK. Let's listen to the leaders.
You cannot go and fight unity just there, somewhere in the air. You start unifying. That is what we have done today. In the morning, I was around TSP. Martha Karua was Nakenya, and Moses Kuria was Chama Chakazi. Right now, we are 3. And we have said we are allocating ourselves duties, approach other people.
So this is a forum not to define tomorrow's coalition. It could very well end up being that, but it is a forum for unity of purpose on issues affecting our region and affecting the nation.
You saw the meeting that was in State House, Mombasa, where 60% of the leaders who were in that meeting are from one region. The Honorable Paranya, the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, and the Honorable Moses Wetangula. And because the president cannot be said to come from a particular region, so it's a symbol of national unity, our region was not represented. Is that fair?
This initiative, in the next 3 months, will culminate in the Limuru 3 conference, where we can be able to make resolutions and agreements on how to conduct our affairs.
All right, Martha Karua, Moses Kuria, Mwangi Kiunjuri talking about Mount Kenya there. And Honorable Martha Karua refers to Limuru 3 a meeting that should end up with a declaration. I was looking up what Limuru 1 and 2 were, and I found that Limuru 2, I could be wrong, might have been the 2010 constitution, and there was a declaration to support the Yes campaign, and actually some of the figures that were mentioned is that the region had about 5 million voters that needed to back that constitutional referendum. But Honorable Mark Kamore, what is this that we are witnessing? Because just a few weeks ago, we saw leaders from your region saying that Mount Kenya East has been used for the hunting. It should also be used at the eating. We also saw some leaders meet in Nyeri saying that the region will speak in one voice, but we have another faction that works with the Deputy President William Ruto under UDA, and now we hear the 3 saying that we will have to discuss and agree on a way forward. What's going on?
I think that is what my brother was complaining about when I talked about reorganization. What we have gone through the last 4 years is actually a tragedy that should never have happened, and it should never happen in this country again, where immediately after we have finished an election for the next election, a campaign is launched for the next election. So you end up spending no time explaining or even implementing the messages or the promises that you did in that election. And that's the unfortunate thing coming from the UDA before they culminated. They just started the campaign in 2018 up to today. So for them, they don't know what we are calling a reorganization, because we have only 12 months to election. So this debate happening in the Mount Kenya region, it is the right time, because we have 11 months to election. Now, when you talk about the Limuru 3, the Limuru 1 and the 2, this is where now the voice of the entire, or the interests of the region are supposed to be articulated by leaders. But if you go to the UDA team, they may not want, they have no time for leaders. They have time for the crowd, the millions. So I don't know where they will get the millions to make the decisions. But on this one, very quickly, then the noise coming from my colleagues, I've served in parliament with all of them, they have realized where they are. It is in actually what you call quicksand of politics when it comes to leaders. How it happens, ask Nelson Kwech. When the deputy president arrives in his Bergut, who is the MC? In the history of this country, it is the local MP who becomes the MC when you have dignitaries, even when the president comes. When you arrive there, it is the deputy president himself who is the MC, anakupimia hewa, how many minutes you speak, and he tells you you are now finished. So these three leaders, what they have realized, in that order they have no role. That they have been on retail politics. Retail politics in the sense, it is not you, when you see crowds in Meru, for example, it is not any of the leaders in Meru. They have come for the deputy president, and these are his people. Now for you, you are an appendage, unawekwa hapa. Now to be seen. Now, that is the situation we are in, and that's the desperation you find in those leaders. It is a pity they have realized it's too late. One. Two, when you talk about Mount Kenya East and West, that thing has been buried. It was a bad idea. It was a dangerous idea. It would be cast for generations to come. If you try to create a rift in Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya East for the 2022 expediency, and we are lucky. Those who are coalescing around it, they are now falling apart one by one. And the prayers of the mountain, you know, in Mount Kenya, when you face it, you know, we pray towards the mountain. The guy of the Mount Kenya has healed the rift, in my opinion. So those politicians who are still banking on it, they are going to wake up tomorrow, the other day, and realize they were holding on to nothing. There is a unity of purpose. There will be Limuru 3, and we will decide and declare.
What is Limuru 1? If my attempt at Limuru 2 is correct.
No, you know that's 1960s. About the issue when they were doing, you remember those things of the Kanu? The 7 provinces thing. When no, it is a history of when there was a fight between Jaramogi and Kenyatta. So when they met there, they split Kanu into 7 provinces instead of 1 Secretary General. Those days of Tomboya. That was about Limuru 1 and just uniting the region behind Kenyatta now because they thought it was threatened. So the Limuru 2, when it happened also in 2013, when they were making a decision about what should happen, there was a story about the ICC. And there was a sort of confusion about people saying there is a debate on who should be the candidate. So that's when they were trying now to rally behind the new constitution and behind Uhuru Kenyatta. So when we meet in Limuru 3, we will also decide. Because there will be 2 candidates. So there will be the deputy president and there will be Raila.
Excellent.
So we will just tell the people, this man is dangerous for you and this one is good for you.
In your
and in Mount Kenya, let me just conclude. Let me the most important one. The conclusion is, the people in Mount Kenya, they don't vote for you because they love you. They vote for you because they fear the other fella. So when we meet...
is the element of fear this time?
No, don't worry. We have not in Limuru yet. I'm trying to tell you about the history and the instinct of how they vote. After those meetings, we will take a decision.
The interesting bit is that you agree there will be a Limuru 3?
Yes.
So this is actually, so what they are saying is the representation of the views of majority in...
No, but for them, even if they take anything in the Limuru, they will have nowhere to take it. Because the DP doesn't take these political kingpins from all over. For him, anataka yote. Akikuja hapo anakuambia tunataka 8 million people.
Let's listen to something, a conversation that was going on somewhere in Kiambu, not Limuru, but how is it? Let's listen.
Tunataka kufanya ni kuinua Kenya. We want to lift Kenya from a status of third world economy to middle income economy by the year 2030. That's what we designed with Kibaki. We came up with a vision 2030. It's aimed at lifting the economy, and it can be done. But it starts from the lower level there.
We will hear a lot of economic models. I have worked in the treasury. I have worked in economic planning. And I can tell you, unless we have the right policies, hii ingine ni mazungumzo baada ya habari.
If you want to compete with the hustler nation, please assemble a semblance of a program or a policy or an agenda so that you can compete with us.
All right, some of the leaders there speaking, and Raila Odinga was in Kiambaa, told here, not Limuru, but Honorable Koech, some of the sentiments that one Moses Kuria said is that, and also Mwangi Kiunjuri, is that that meeting in Karen was for UDA Are they members? Not exactly, but people are allied to UDA, because I tend to think you're still in Jubilee. And therefore they felt a bit left out, and they're also perturbed but that the Deputy President has shown signals that he's not willing to form coalitions with other parties. What is the true position from your side of politics? Because 11 months, 3 weeks, pretty a long time.
You must look at the history of exactly what we want as a country. It is not being honest when you come out from Jubilee, where so many parties had been collapsed to form one huge party, then we again say we now want to disintegrate and form political regional kingpins. I think it is very unfair. And I will not begrudge my friend Moses Kuria and the other leaders who probably want to form regional political parties. It is within their democratic right to do so. But I think as a country, we at this century, especially we as young people, we must move away from that politics of regionalism and have a huge formidable party. UDA, and that is why we seem to be gravitating towards UDA, is coming up with the same idea of one single party that accommodates everyone. Because honestly, if you say now that everyone comes with political party and the big teams that are going to play, you know, the big 5 communities or so, then what happens to the rest of the other communities? Will they ever even be on the league of being a president, if we were to say that? Today, I will tell you, for instance, someone like, if we go that direction, the way Moses Kuria want to go, then it was going to even be very difficult to have then someone like J.B. Muturi becoming a Speaker of the National Assembly, because he comes from a small sub-tribe in Mount Kenya region. So let us have a party that can accommodate the aspiration of...
But even within that party, how then do you address the interests of different regions? Because
that is why UDA, if you've noticed, we've not discussed power. We've been having meetings, different meetings from different regions, discussing on economic restructuring of different areas when we get into power. And that is why we've discussed about... And let me tell you something before I forget. It is not about who becomes the president. It's not about the person who becomes the president who will solve the problems of the region. No, far from it. Today, Mauka Mauro is still talking about trying to get better prices for milk from the people of the region, markets for Mira, and all the other things. Yet, the president is from that region. It doesn't work that way. So what we are saying is that let us have someone who comes with an economic blueprint for different regions, and then we negotiate on that basis and say, we will bind you. Is that
ready, or it's work in progress?
It's work in progress. I mean, we've done it. We've done it for Rift Valley. It's been done for Central. I remember they had... Moses Kuria was participated fully. And he is actually the one who read the statement, if I'm not wrong, on exactly what they wanted as the people of Central Kenya.
So it's actually ready. It's something that you can actually...
We must, first of all, our cardinal job is, first of all, to serve the people. We are the servants of the people. We should not disguise our personal aspirations as community aspirations. No. That should be disengaged.
Okay, we just use that word. That's interesting, but it's and we need to wind up. Dr. Pamela Odhiambo, what do you make of this? At a time, yes, you're party leader, yet to declare, but so many people think that he's going to run, including the Homa Bay governor, and he has been holding meetings, like you say, there in Kiambaa. So what do you make of regional interest, and when they come together to come up with an agenda that they want to present to whoever they are supporting for presidency?
Thank you, Sam. I think I've been here before, and from the very beginning, personally, it has been very clear in my heart and spirit that our presidential candidate, even in 2022, is Raila Amolo Odinga. To me, that is not news. It's not something to worry about. What I would like to say is that at least Kenyans, let us be very honest in the true meaning of the word honest. We cannot say that regionalism and everything else that we talk about is wrong just because we want to a game of convenience. You know, in the entire world, people are talking about regions, and that's why we are talking about Africa, Americans, the Asians, and all that. So when it comes to our own local situation, I just want to plead with my colleague here. Sometimes let us not demonize all the words that we can use to talk to our people just because they don't sound really convenient. In his discourse, he's saying we don't want to go regionalism, but again he's talking about Central, Rift Valley, and what are these? They are regions. So I wanted to correct that.
All right.
But as I move on, I think when we talk of politics, most of the time, even the issue of representation, we talk about a game of interest. So when we are talking about the leadership of Kenya and even the services development and all that, I think every people from whichever home they come from are to represent their interests. So I am happy about these meetings my party leader is holding, because then what we are gathering, like if he wants to be the president like he is, this time around we are in 2022, what would be the greatest economic region, economic agenda of Mount Kenya to solve? What about the south? What about the north? And all that now make our national economic and development agenda and political agenda for the year.
I need to take feedback, and Engineer Lazaro is saying the people tasked to enforce Campaign Financing Act are the culprits. So do you expect them to incriminate themselves? Challenges chungu nzima. Tava Jafet, the IEBC has not still given us how it will monitor this campaign financing limit, which makes the whole process unrealistic, having in mind that most of candidates have not been honest and may just do copy-pasting from other candidates. Brian Okoth, Sam is asking the MPs how much they spent in 2017 elections, and it's so easy for them to quote 16 million, 10 million, 25 million, etc. But when he poses the question, where did you get the money? All of them. We, the political class, must know that politics is not a business where you invest your money for return. It's a commitment to the people. Invest in them without expecting any return. That's leadership. Jenga Wakungu, if we stop pressurizing aspirants to give us money while looking for votes, this campaign spending cap wouldn't have been an issue. But why shouldn't there be the limit? There are those who get elected without much spending. But some argue that the last time you see your leader is during the campaigns. Steve Ogola, 10 seconds, your closing remark.
To answer the question that have been raised for Kenyans, whether we are late to implement this, we are not late, because the law says these spending limits take effect 8 months to election. 8 months to election, which means from December 9th. That's when we have aspirants trying to organize this. So compliance is from 8 months to election. And I want to thank you for very detailed and incisive questioning and the honest control. For the first time, I felt that our leaders have been very honest in terms of answering the questions relating to campaign finance.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Pamela Odhiambo from Migori County, Nelson Koech from Belgut, Advocate Steve Ogola, and Richard Maore Maoka from Igembe North. He's also the Deputy Majority Whip at the National Assembly. My name is Sam Gituku. Asante sana. One Bar Moses Obiero Ken is saying, kindly wind up. We are waiting for Sporty Monday with Ilis Raburu. I'm out. Bye for now.